Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording of 60 Seconds. I think we're coming to the end here, so it's time to step up our game. Let's play Classic Survival on the hardest mode. Now, what I'm going to try to do here, I think, is we want to see how fast we lose in this, and if the two family members are always going to be the two adults, or if it's just one adult and possibly one child. I assume if this is going to be two family members and it's both children, you lose immediately, so I would assume it wouldn't just randomize into that and we just have loss after loss after loss. That would be ridiculously dumb. Alright, so kind of a perfect start for what I want to see here. We want to see if we can send out Mary Jane immediately and get her mutated. Meanwhile, we've got to survive that long, so that means we need to be pretty tight on the rationing, and but I'm gonna just kind of do the same thing we did before, I guess. I'm still not to the point where I think you could skip a day for everybody. Let's see. At least two of us made it inside, if only we had a smaller house and less slippery floors. We don't have that much food, no one's complaining yet, but even canned soup might become an extravagant dish quite soon. There's barely enough water for everyone. We'll have to ration it strictly. There wasn't enough time to grab everything, but we have something to get started with. Hope it's enough. So yeah, just different responses at the very beginning as far as what you scavenged, or what in this case was randomly given to me, but this line of dialogue we've seen before so many times, and it seems exactly the same. So yeah, there's nothing you do on day one. Let's see. Fond memories are one thing, but we need to be ready for the harsh reality that awaits us. And that's it. Don't really need to do any resources gathering for that one. Playing with matches is never a good idea, so doing so in a tiny underground shelter is probably the even lower on the good idea scale. A few matches later, we ended up with flames licking up one of the walls. Time is short, we need to put it out, save our supplies. What do we save? Well, the only thing we can save is the radio. So that's a new event, playing on hard, that we just did not see. And that's like a big event too. The walls are now scorched with char. Like, did we lose something else? Not really. So maybe you have to play it on at least normal mode to see half of the events. Well, that kind of sucks. I mean, that you couldn't experience the game in a realistic amount of time playing on easy mode because there are straight up events that are too difficult in the game's mind for you to actually see. We needed a source of information. We went for the radio and were able to grab it before it was engulfed by flames. Unfortunately, our other supplies weren't so lucky. We need to evaluate our losses. Water for Mary Jane, water for Dolores. So let's skip one day and let's send Mary Jane out without water. And the only thing we could send her out with is the cards, basically. So send her out empty-handed. Let's see. Now we move forward. Mary Jane. Water now for Dolores. Skip that. And see, there's a decent chance in this run that Mary Jane will just not come back. Still, it's better to be safe down here than dead up there. Dolores is fine and well. Alright, so we can just keep skipping and we're just gonna see. We've been hearing strange noises, play with the cards. Yeah, these events are happening way, way faster. So unless events happen to win way faster on hard mode, you really would have to be like an expert or just extremely, extremely lucky in a run. This really does feel like you're gonna fail 90% of the time playing on hard mode. Which some games hard mode, if it's 100% skill, if you're just good at the game, you can still play on hard and it's not even a problem. A lot of games hard mode isn't even really hard mode, even if it's labeled extreme mode or like a one death only style of gameplay with no continues or anything. Some games are so skill based or so easy that even the hardest possible setting is not that hard, whereas some games hard mode is impossible. Some games even easy mode is impossible. Dolores wants water, so we're gonna skip one day, and then our patient is waiting food. We thought it'd be a good idea to take a quick look outside. We don't have anything, so we'll see what this dog path does when we don't have an item. Probably doesn't do anything. In other circumstances, we might have risked battling with the beast in the darkness, but for some reason we felt it was not to our liking, so we screamed and screamed it with terror. The creatures was probably more afraid of us than we were of it. It left in a hurry. Dolores hasn't eaten for a while. She'll not survive without water, so we'll give her water today and food tomorrow. She came back, but she's not mutated. Also, she maybe brought some food, and that's about it. Let's see. Fond memories are one thing, but we need to be ready for the harsh reality that awaits us. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter. A pile of car wrecks revealed that we stumbled across a big locked parking lot, blah blah blah. Those bottles were not the best of state, but the contents. Mary Jane is hungry. Dolores would like to eat something. So we'll give Dolores food because she's hungry. And as far as Mary Jane, we'll give her one day on Mary Jane and then feed her. And now we're in a weird position, so we're just gonna have to prepare and send out the parent and see what happens. See if that's always a loose scenario on hard mode or what. Or we can kind of wait. Quite frankly, I think at this point I would need to look at a walkthrough, a better walkthrough, and I'm not even sure there actually is a better walkthrough than what I've seen, because all I've seen is Steam forum posts for this game, and so I kind of wonder if nobody really even cared about this game, but I can certainly see why. I specifically may have been hyped about this game by watching like a Giant Bomb quick look on it a few years, the year it came out, so that would have been like 4 years ago, and that would have been right when I was watching pretty much all the Giant Bomb quick looks, whereas I think maybe the rest of the gaming community maybe skipped this game and were better off for it. Mary Jane is starving, so we'll feed her and not her. Alright, so yeah, we'll send him out and we'll see what happens then. I guess if it's the kids are still around, that's fine. Let's see. We keep sitting on our backside since tiny little bunker, or we can start thinking about getting as far as possible from this radioactive wasteland. Who would have thought the Reds would ruin such a lovely neighborhood? So we'll listen to the radio, yes. The thing is, mutating Mary Jane is like a good thing. I think. Alright, Mary Jane is hungry. And did we skip a day on giving her water? Apparently we did, so let's give her water too. I'm a little surprised I'm even gonna make it to this far. Mary Jane needs food. We're running out of food really quickly. Open up in the name of freedom? Sure. Let's see what on hard mode that is. Seems like they took all of our food. But we have a ton of water. Opening the door revealed a group of armed teenagers. They gave us a gun. Dolores came back. Came across a local church, blah blah blah. Cultist gave us holy water. They also gave us a flashlight. Let's see. Dolores would love to eat. Let's skip one day on Dolores. And I mean, we can prepare, but we might as well not. We've got her tired and her tired, and unless not preparing is a way of resting. Do I want to rob the Banty shanty town and look for the cat? I mean, let's see. If we say no, it doesn't do anything. If we say yes, it gets us a cat. So let's say yes. And that was added in DLC, so imagine if that option wasn't even there, how limited the options would have been. Mary Jane is gonna be thirsty until tomorrow, and we'll give food to, I believe, Dolores. Yeah. And yeah, I wonder how many of these we have to skip to rest people. And I don't think there ever actually is an option to eat the cat. Mary Jane is thirsty. Dolores is hungry and thirsty. Alright. Dehydration, thirst, and hunger. So, nothing for Dolores today. So I'm skipping a day every time, trying to just really ration this stuff out, but it's not gonna matter unless I get rescued in the next 2 or 3 days. Mary Jane is rested. Wow. So I'm surprised that happened. Give Dolores everything and prepare to send Mary Jane out tomorrow. Always stood away from casinos, gambling, and like, so when a man came, blah blah blah. We'll gamble. I think we lost our water in that. Darn it, the man must have cheated. We lost him before we could argue. The man left with our supplies. -2 water. Mary Jane could use a little food. Dolores has not eaten for a while. Seriously, going an entire, like, day thirsty or an entire day hungry. It's not something modern people would relate to, or at least modern people in the West, most modern people in the West, and in rich countries, first world countries, can relate to, certainly. It's not something that would work well on the mental facility of people not used to it. Seems like we don't need to do anything for Dolores. Just wait until she's not tired anymore. Trying to pet the little devil. We found a piece of paper in his collar on the address. Chances are slim, but maybe we should try and visit it. Or at least whatever's left of it. So this option is take the cat back. I'm gonna say no and see what that does, because I'm not sure we've ever taken that option. But no seems like it's almost always the wrong answer. The cat belongs to us now. It's our new dear friend and valuable addition to our bunker. We managed to use it as a pillow for a whole 10 seconds yesterday before it almost scratched our eyes out. Clearly, it's very fond of us. It's staying, and that's final. Dolores would love to eat and drink, but I think we're good to wait a day on that. Let's see, we opened the bunker door this morning to let some fresh radiation. We discovered a small suitcase on the doorstep. It was not on it. The neighbor seemed in. Should we take a look inside? Yes. Even though that's probably a bad idea. Always. Well, there was bug spray in it. The gift was booby-trapped. There was nothing inside besides some junk, and as soon as we opened the suitcase, it exploded. Is anybody hurt? While playing in the shelter, Sarkov stumbled upon a wooden box that was hidden. Some loose bricks contained a can of bug spray. So we searched the suitcase, and it didn't give us anything good. So it should be just no. It also hurt her. So you should always say no to the suitcase. We would need the map to be rescued by the government. We don't have it, so we skip forward. It's gonna be funny if this takes an hour too, even though I'm playing on the hardest mode. Everything from smell attracts our noses, so a single brick fell, revealing a tight opening. Should we search what's in the hole? Yes. Even though it's probably a bad idea on hard mode. Did I find a can of soup? Mary Jane was supposed to be back in a few days. It's been too long. We fear something has happened to her. We're looking into the whole, feeling something would come out with claws, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Found a dead rat. And we got a can of soup. We should attend to Dolores' injuries. We've got nothing. We could use some extra supplies. Last time our supply run, we noticed a damaged tank stuck in the rubble nearby. How about we send someone to investigate it? Now, tank, I assume, means like a military tank, not a gas propane tank or something. But last time we did this, it exploded. But we might as well just end the game here and do it, because like, what else are we gonna do? Let's just take a moment here to look. We've got the gas mask, we've got the cards, we actually have a decent amount of things, just not food. So it's either stay here and watch her die of her injuries, which would be a new way to see her die, or we just end it now. Well, it didn't work. Didn't kill her. I'm surprised. All we could find inside the wrecked tank were loose rounds of ammunition. We picked them up. Dolores' sanity is questionable. we can't send her in her state because she is still tired. So, like, we're just like out of food. Some sort of scratching noises in the shelter. Not we thought it was just the wind, but we were wrong. It's the cat. We don't know anything. It's not really doing anything naughty. It seems it just squeezes through some holes into the wall and makes its way outside. We're not sure where it goes during the secret trips, but every morning it's back to the shelter like nothing happened. Should we follow it next time it sneaks out? Sure. So we're rushing here to see what happens. Sarkov took to an old junkyard that's inhabited by one lone resident, a self-proclaimed scientist, blah blah blah. See, that just moved us. That just moved us down that path towards that one scenario, which we can't do. Someone's at the door, a bit scared. But maybe it's an American soldier. Let's open the door. Sure, why not? We're just trying to lose. It gave us a bunch of food. It's almost like the game is taking pity on us. Turned out it was a nice mysterious fellow with a weird suit. He gave us some soup cans. He will help us survive the next couple days. Dolores can't remain thirsty for long. So she's just thirsty right now, so we can wait a day. I'm really surprised I'm gonna make it to day 30 on hard mode. Doesn't feel like there's as much variety as I thought it would. Feels like maybe there's at most a 20% swing in difficulty, whereas I thought it would be maybe 50% more difficult or 200% more difficult. Something closer to those numbers, and I'm just making up numbers in my head, basically. Sarkov came back, so she's now dehydrated, so we'll give her some water. Yeah, I guess I should have just been playing on hard mode all these times before. All these 6 or 7 times I played this game before. Not getting a lot more events. Everything would be fine if it weren't for Dolores. She doesn't seem well. She used to be so energetic and happiness. Now she sits there. We should do something about it. So use the bug spray to make her not crazy. Might as well try. I don't know how that's gonna work. That certainly didn't work at all. Spraying someone in the face to make them smile sounds like a brilliant plan until you try it, then realize that you have been a significant error in your line of reasoning. Not only do they not smile, they get angry. Dolores has not eaten for a while. Dolores got ill. So she's hungry, sick, hurt, crazy, tired, and fatigued. We've got the full Monty on her. Oh, I think that's the wrong phrase. Hey. Nod crashes, spray, shriek. The wire with Sarkov, forget it, we don't care. We don't have enough resources one way for either one of those scenarios. We're not gonna make it. Honestly, maybe if I just said no to the cat in general, always, then that might later on mean I get more food and water. Maybe they changed the balance of the game with the DLC. So I think she's starving. She's thirsty and she's hungry, so I think we could probably skip both for one day. On the way from the last expedition, we know some drawings on half ruins wall nearby. It was a very crude map of our town. One place marked with an X. Maybe someone's secret stash is there. Shall we go check? Might as well. We're just pushing our luck every time. She got an axe. Wow. This is gonna be the like best stocked shelter ever with nobody in it. A small hiding place. We found some useful supplies there. Let's see. Her injuries need to be fixed ASAP. Well, I don't think we can do anything with it. And we still can't send her out, and we don't have a map. And we somehow broke our radio and got bug spray. We were sure we could find the location without a map. We were wrong. Hopefully we'll get lucky next time. The peace and quiet of our shelter was disturbed today when Dolores suddenly jumped out of her seat and started cursing at the radio. We begged her to sit down and relax. The radio wasn't even on, but she kept saying she could hear voices coming from the speakers. Clearly they belonged to someone really impolite, because Dolores showered the box with the most creative set of insults and occasional screams like, "You won't get my cans," or "How dare you speak this way of my mother." Dolores has won the argument by smashing the ill-mannered radio on the floor, only then calmly went back to her seat with a triumphant look on her face. The whole thing was quite disturbing, but if we want to avoid her wrath, it's probably best to never mention it to Dolores again. So there goes our radio. Dolores has not eaten in a while. With no help, Dolores might go over the brink of sanity. Do something. Dolores has no colors left in her face. Her injuries need to be fixed ASAP. So she's hungry, in agony, she's deranged. Apparently she's not thirsty? So Zueto says she's starved on the food case, and it doesn't matter, we're gonna have food left over. Which might be the right solution here. If you know you're not gonna survive, maybe you just you might as well not eat as much resources. So we have 2 bottles of water and 2.75 of soup. There's a man on the doorstep. He wants to be our friend, or at least that's what he says. He looks harmless, although he seems to have acquired an extra pair of arms as a result. He assures us that we will not get sick and asks for our help. If we can provide him with a group of supplies, they would be repaid by helping us fight the next raiding party that comes our way. Should we accept this? I think the answer probably is yes. I want to see what happens if we say no, though. Just want to see that line of dialogue. It took us a bit too long to realize who or what we were looking at, but we managed to finally shut the door. It's a good that we didn't shake his hand, and let's hope the disease is not airborne. We could have sworn we heard him cough. Dolores has not eaten for a while. Dolores might go over the edge. Dolores has no colors. Her injuries need to be fixed ASAP. Still says she's hungry, but it said hungry a couple times, so I'm gonna give her some food. There's some spare ammunition, but now it's gone. We don't know how or when. It must have been misplaced. We need to find it soon. So use the light to find the ammunition that just seemed like it mysteriously disappeared. That's a new event. Found that the ammunition clip was covered by a can. Too bad it was empty. But at least we have our bullets back. Dolores wants water. We'll wait a day on that. And we really can't do... Let's see. Here's the scientist guy coming back for that win scenario, which we could never have happen. And so that's the end. Did she die of sickness or of injuries? Dolores suffered from her injuries for far too long. With the infection spread, there's nothing we could do. We didn't make it. This is our final words. And advice to anyone who reads this obscured writing. We held out 35 days. There was quite a lot of items we had there. Quite a lot. Alright. So, we're 30 minutes into an episode. Theoretically, I could try and stretch out this series by having playing games like that over and over again on hard mode. But honestly, it would be bad. Let's see. So, I'm clicking on a web page right now, so to see if I can get anything that would be helpful. Let's see. I'm looking here. Since the house's stock randomizes every playthrough, it's helpful to recognize which items white outlines look like. For custom, the first couple of weeks are highly irradiated. Once you're in the bunker, go outside to scavenge. In the first 15 to 20 days, run a high risk of radiation poisoning. If someone goes out with a gas mask, they will almost certainly come back sick. Only go out scavenging if you 1. Have a gas mask, have a med kit, or are willing to risk someone's life. Survival is highly randomized as well as the outcomes are random. In survival, the items the army will request before they can rescue will change. Items often offered by traders will change. The results of risk taking will change. You might eat some mushrooms on one playthrough and get violently ill, while they will provide a safe meal for weeks in the next game. But some things never change. Blah blah blah. If you progress the army's plotline, they will eventually rescue you. If you go out during highly radioactive periods, you risk getting sick. If you don't give your survivors food or water long enough, they will die. And some things are usually true. While most events have varied outcomes, there are certain choices that are usually better than others. When a family member seems sad or upset, it's usually best to try talking to them. If a stranger stops by and asks for an item, it's usually best to give it to them. If you can spare it, sometimes refusing will have no consequences, but often being generous will result in unexpected rewards down the road. If there's a non-violent option, go for it. Not killing something may earn you a friend later. Don't send your sole survivor out. If you're down to only one family member, don't risk scavenging expeditions. There's a very high chance raiders or other factions will simply move into your bunker while you're away, ending the game immediately. Just because you're staying put doesn't mean you can't find new items. Traders or other friendly factions may show up. Always listen to the radio. Tapping on bunker items provides info. If you happen to have the scout book in your bunker, tapping in on it each day will give you a new in-game tip. Tapping on water or food reserves will tell you how much you have each of it. Tapping on family members will give you a quick glance of their status. Don't scavenge with items in current storylines. You need in current storylines. When you send a survivor out on a scavenging expedition, any item they take with them will be unusable by the family members remaining behind. When you're pursuing a rescue plot such as the army, you generally need a specific item before you can move forward. For instance, when the army asks you to put out playing cards to mark our location, we could not move forward with the army until we had playing cards at our disposal. If we had given the playing card to a survivor going on an expedition and the army asked for the cards while they were away, we would not be able to move forward and would have to wait even longer for rescue. There's a lot more ways to lose than win. You lose quite a few games in 60 seconds before you ever see survivors make it out of the bunker. Death by illness, starvation, dehydration, raider attack, bunker takeover, or so on, are always looming threats. Meanwhile, it takes having specific items and sheer long-term survival to make it to the point of rescue. Don't get frustrated if you don't make it. 60 seconds is about retrying, making different choices. Well, no, here's the problem with this thing. I'm just sitting here and reading, and I'm apologize for that. Like, it's really not about making different choices because they're all random. It's about making random guesses. And see, that walkthrough does not really give enough details. So things I'm trying to see for specific achievements, which would be the guiding thing that I would want to do, are still kind of not here. And so I'm looking at a different walkthrough now. Let's see, insanity. Here it says characters will go insane without much warning, refusing to talk to silent characters, avoiding listening to radio, or leaving a single character alone in a shelter, are all things that bring down sanity. So you should always listen to the radio or talk to people, and not leave anybody alone. I didn't realize leaving people alone was a factor there. After one or more characters has been driven insane, it's possibly to bring their sanity back up in several ways, such as talking to the character, listening to radio, or bringing Pancake into shelter. Read more about Pancake below. Mary Jane will stand up and hold her arms like wings. Timmy will put an empty soup can on his head and poke the eye out of his teddy bear. Apparently Ted will create a sock puppet. So we've seen everything except for Mary Jane there. She has never gone crazy. Let's see. This is talking about items. Ammunition has comparatively little value. Apparently the harmonica was added in the Dolores DLC. So a lot of these items weren't even in the game originally. It seems like so much more should be in this game, quite frankly. Even on its initial release. Suitcase was added in the What's in the Suitcase DLC. All of these must have been free DLC, at least in the PC version. Maybe the mobile version, you have to pay more and more and more. So I just looked at like every item, and there's no item we haven't seen at this point. Mary Jane can be turned into a mutant several ways, such as exposing her to spiders by refusing to use an item in the spider event, exposing her to substance dripping from the pipe by refusing to use an item on the leaking pipe. There's also a chance, allegedly, Mary Jane may turn into a mutant by letting the cockroaches roam free and not squashing them on sight. So sending her out in the wasteland was never even an option to mutate her. So that means we could play another 10 games and never even run into the scenario where she would actually turn into a mutant. When Mary Jane is mutated, she will not require any water, become immune to sickness and radiation poison, and will be able to fight off bandits unarmed. However, she will require more food than regular characters. Mutating Mary Jane is highly recommended. We're not going to see it. Pancake is a dog you can befriend. He is introduced in the Eyes in the Dark event and can be identified using the flashlight. If the player does not use the flashlight in the event, Pancake will be locked for the duration of the game, and we've tried that several times. After he's identified with the flashlight, he will leave, but come back later in the form of other events. These includes Pancake coming back for food, where you must give him a can of soup, Pancake coming and making you follow him, where you can either take a map, gun, or an axe. Taking the map and this event will result in progress in the pancake storyline, and you will earn 3 bottles of water if you have the scout book as well. So you have to take the map. Bringing the gun will scare pancake off, making him impossible to get. Bringing the axe is the best option, as it results in you gaining 4 bottles of water from the body of the bandit you kill. After this, pancake will come back to you wounded, and you must wounded with a bullet hole in him. You must use the first aid kit on him then, or he will die and bring your sanity down. If you do use the first aid kit, he will be completely healed and finally come into your shelter. He will sit next to Timmy and bark if you click him. Having pancake in the shelter will effectively give you infinite food and water, because he will occasionally ask to be let outside, and if you let him out, he'll come back with soup, water, and even a first aid kit. This almost negates the need to send human characters out to scavenge, but if you also have mutated Mary Jane, you'll need to send her out periodically. So yeah, we're never gonna get that pancake line, because that's really, really hard to do. But if you did get it, that's how you would get to 111 days of survival, I imagine. Sarkov is the next character, secret character. While not exactly secret, Sarkov is immediately available. You can obtain him in several random events, often involving the mysterious sack. Since there are several events that yield Sarkov, it's recommended to decline buying it from the trader for a can of soup, since it may just as easily be obtained without charge. Sarkov will sometimes demand a can of soup or destroy a checkerboard and make Ted sick, but its advantage to allow it access to, in that it allows access to several story arcs that will end in the family's rescue, either by G-men from the government shelter, which we have seen, or the mysterious Sarkov scientist and Sarkov's owner and his homemade rocket ship. After these endings have been reached, however, all use of Sarkov has been exhausted, and it is recommended players choose to take Pancake as a pet instead, as the two animals are mutually exclusive, and Sarkov will cause more harm than good unless it's related. Its endings are designed. Behind the scenes, it may also be worth mentioning that Sarkov was likely named after the dog from the political satire novel Heart of a Dog by Mikhail Bulgakov. Let's see. I'm continuing reading here. There's several events like rodent attacks, various radio events, natural disasters, supply drops, body odor, shelter odor, the safe behind the map, a secret door that's found, a manhole, the coffee run, the mysterious sack, tinkering with the radio. We didn't see probably both endings on that one. What's in the suitcase? This is a high-risk event with little reward. Avoid opening the suitcase. I figured that out. Let's see. Ventilation problems. Use the bug spray. Let's see. There's a child's birthday scenario that we never saw. Let's see. And then Ned's safe. Raiding Ned's safe appears to be a low-risk challenge with a random item being awarded. Okay. So, according to the Steam forum walkthrough that I'm looking at, we've kind of seen everything we're gonna see. Apologies for just sitting here for that whole time. Let's wrap this series up here. This would require living for 100 days. Danger zone is break or use everything in your shelter, and the achievements here are listed in the walkthrough, but they're in a different order. Let's see. So the difficulty achievements that are down here somewhere would require you playing both in apocalypse mode and scavenge mode. Apocalypse mode and survival mode on both medium and hard and winning. Let's see. Find the bathroom and run into it until it comes off and water sprays on the floor. Okay, so to ram the toilet and get the unplugged achievement, you have to bounce into it several times. In apocalypse mode, grab only what a real gamer needs. Is completed in the scavenging part of apocalypse. Only take the cards and checkers and yourself, nothing else, into the shelter. Interesting achievement. Scavenge each item once in scavenge mode. We're not really playing that. When you hit a prop in a house, it will make a crashing sound and show a comic-like onomatopoeia. I think that's how you say that. Keep crashing into things, and after 1,337 times, you'll get the achievement. Let's see. Break all or use all the items in your shelter. This should not be a problem at all. Just click on the item in question until the text of an event that will appear. Just click on an item in question under the text of an event that will appear at random at each day. So I literally just have not played enough to even get that achievement. This danger zone achievement. Well, actually, let's see. Oh wait, I'm looking at the all thumbs achievement. For the danger zone, you need to have broken and used the medkit, the gas mask, the rifle, radio, map, and flashlight. So maybe I just have never broken the gas mask or the medkit. It's recommended that you do this in survival mode on easy, as it will most likely give you every item in the game, then drive everyone insane and wait for them to break items. Alternatively, you can send someone scavenging with a suitcase full of 3 other breakable items, as it might come back broken. But if you've broken other items already, you run the risk of the character coming back and replacing them. So I think that means in one playthrough you have to have everything broken in your shelter. Wow. When you send the new order achievement, and I guess the going crazy achievement too could be done. When you send is just going to the local police station. So there's a scenario where you go to the local police station and you run into while scavenging, and you run into raiders who pretend like they're the new order. Let's see. Trimming Ted's beard with the axe happens around day 40 to 50, and you have to have the axe. Doing so will have a chance of injuring him. However, be sure to have a first aid kit. For the Cuckoo's Nest achievement, all 4 characters must be insane at the same time. The hardest part will be keeping them all alive long enough to drive everyone insane. The insanity subsection and the general help would help. The best way to survive for 111 days is to keep your food and water supplies high and not take too many risks. Try to have a first aid kit ready at all times, and make sure to keep the roaches away, as they can make characters sick. Now, this achievement, this is the end. To get this achievement, you must get the bad ending, survive until your neighborhood is taken over by bandits, usually around day 80 or 100. So, between days 80 and 100, you're going to have to be fighting off bandit attacks. During those days, when you hear a knock on your shelter door, open it. It will most likely be the raiders, and you will lose the game and get the achievement. So, in Bug Hunter, I saw that one already. How do you get the Bug Hunter achievement? At some point in the shelter, you'll find that irradiated or mutated cockroaches have invaded the shelter. attracted or discard by your discarded mostly empty soup cans. You'll then have an option to kill them with bug spray or scout bug. Refuse to do so and let them populate your shelter. At this rate, after this, a rare event may occur that will state how you suspect the roaches are becoming intelligent. Just use the bug spray at that point. So you can't kill them on the first part of that. Interesting. This is getting Pancake the dog. We know what these two achievements are. This is mutating Mary Jane. So Miracle, listen to the voices beyond. To get that, the secret of the Miracle achievement has finally been revealed in the shelter. Click on the radio. It will literally make a static sound. Then continue to click on it until you hear a rare sound effect that will earn that achievement. So anybody could get that, I imagine. You just gotta click on the radio over and over again. Let's see. We already talked about those two achievements. We already talked about these achievements. And always say yes and win. It didn't talk about that. But we kind of know what that is. Perform 30 trades. What is liberation? At a somewhat rare event, you may encounter a friendly mutant who asks you for Superwoman, promise protection either for bandits or during a scavenging trip. Give them what they want and reap the reward. Let's see. As an alternate to being rescued by the military, you can also join a group of survivors. This is done through the Siblings event, which is initiated by main contact with them on the phone. So the phone event did start that event. After this, provide them with the items they need and let them into your shelter. At some point, you'll win the game and get the achievement. Yes, man, whenever you are prompted with an event that requires you to say yes or no to something, or say yes, it's quite random, as the military will need to arrive before bandits. Naysayer. This one is significantly more difficult, as you cannot allow the military into your home. Just to beat the game without choosing yes option to the events that allow it. Liberation, rescue someone from the bandits. When the bandits arrive in your area, send someone to scavenge unarmed and they will get captured. Then save them in an attack with the rifle or the axe and you'll get this achievement. So the reason why I don't have this achievement is because the bandits arrive, I think, day 80 to day 100, so late in the game. Gift is the suitcase achievement. I saw that one. Eventually, a random event will find a suitcase on the doorstep, and you will be prompted to open it. Open it and get this achievement. Could be super water, but also sickness and wounds. Interesting. We've opened that several times, and it is not unlocked. So the game seems glitched too. In fact, a lot of these achievements feel like I've already done that. There's fully exploring your shelter, defeat 3 bandit attacks in one game. Probably haven't done that one. New Hope one we never done. Yeah. I want to see this Mad Hatter in particular. Mad Hatter. After completing a challenge and unlocking it, right-click each character to switch between the hats you've earned. Really? So the game just does not tell you that you can do that at all. There's also a holidays thing, which is the holidays challenge is the first challenge available. It can easily be completed, earning your family the Yule hat by bringing the entire family safely into the shelter in scavenge mode. So I don't understand how that works. Trigger the raining cats and dogs. Let's see. Trigger the event by simply unlocking both pancake and cat companions simultaneously. Don't respond to Sarkov's events until you have pancake first, as getting Sarkov will lock pancake's events. Interesting. So that's an unlikely thing to happen. Feline domination. Follow the scientist timeline to the last request, stockpiling food and water, and denying it may trigger a random event in which a refrigerator-like cloning device enters your shelter and causes other cats to appear, each taking a can of soup until the shelter is overtaken. The achievement is awarded upon this ending. Whereas Cat Lady, essentially the same as feline domination, but outlasts the cats. After 8 or 10 days, the cats will start coming, and the game will end. Each day, the new cat will take a can of soup, so you'll need lots to survive to the end. So you need 8 to 10 cans of soup, theoretically, to win these achievements. Some of these endings you would take really hundreds of tries. Let's see. Enigma, reconnect with old friends. This is earned by as a result of completing the Dolores event, prompting her to decipher a code and allowing her to leave the shelter. Just answer both events with yes and she'll return with food and water. And we only saw that event once, and I guess we didn't get far enough into it. Let's see. Dawkins' residence on this walkthrough just says work in progress, sorry for the delay. So 4 years later, nobody even has still figured out, nobody updated this walkthrough. That's how little interest people had in this game, is that the first Google result for a 60 seconds walkthrough isn't even complete. Not alone, this is connected to the radio event in which a woman gives her address, choosing to no to the first time and using the harmonica in the following events will unlock this. I never saw that event, I don't think. And that's the last of the walkthrough. Again, apologies for just sitting here and talking as reading the walkthrough, but I wanted to kind of just go through that and verbalize how little is left. Like certainly there is content here I have not been able to show off, but that it's not a lot, and I've really never at any point had a lot of fun with this. Like, I really haven't. It's been repetitive and boring and not very interesting and not well made in the way that it's being animated. If this was I've said it before, if this was a $3 game when it first came out, maybe then I would be interested in it. Or even if it was $3 now, maybe I'd be interested in it. But this is a $10 game right now. If you can't get it on sale, and it hasn't been on sale by much. It started off, I think, at 20 of maybe 15, but it's asking for a really high price and giving you very, very little. Particularly when you know that 2/3 of this game weren't even in the original game. And I would not say it's been supported well. Instead, they went on to made 60 parsecs. I would have said 60 parsecs should have been a DLC update, a version 2.0 for free for everybody who bought the first game. Because I could see there being a space mode, a space like apocalypse game where things were a little bit varied, or you could even have it randomized. So sometimes you end up in space, and sometimes you end up in the Fallout shelter. You can see our statistics here. We've played the game in scavenge mode like 22 times. We've perished half of those times in the atomic explosion. We've collected 340 items. Most supplies collected 16. We've survived almost slightly over 400 days. 67 was our high record. so we were still 13 days away from ever even getting into that late in-game part. So there's a whole, I would say, third of the game we never even saw, just in days. Our win ratio is about 30%, which is low, frankly. To make a good comparison, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I play Hearthstone, and I stream that. And Hearthstone is striving for a 50% win ratio for all the players because you're playing against other players. And I am always upset with that win ratio being so low. Most single player game win ratios, you're talking 95%, 99%. There's been plenty of single player games I've played through from beginning to end and maybe only died once, twice. So you play for like 60 hours and die once or twice. This is an incredibly low win ratio, and that's not fun. That's not what you want in any game, is to lose 70% of the time. That's Dark Souls-esque gameplay for somebody that doesn't know how to play Dark Souls, and that is very off-putting. Let's see, 67 expeditions. We got people to die 7 times from expedition, 7 times from hunger, 3 times from thirst, 1 time from injury, and never from sickness. Not that it really would have shown you a different image at the end. I really don't know what the screenshot things are here. It would turn out really bad if it turns out it's saving these screenshots to my hard drive and wasting space. I mean, it would just be a small, probably less than a megabyte picture but if you played this non-stop for a year straight, you could really fill up somebody's hard drive doing that. If these are being saved, I don't know if they are. People perish from the nuke drop. There's no silliness in any of this either, because people perish during the nuke drop is 53 in this case, which means a bunch of family members that weren't saved a lot of times, whereas this number could have been 5 billion or 7 billion, the entire population of the world, or it could have been just like 1 or 2 billion, the entire population of the United States. So that number could have gotten ridiculously high. Yeah, this game kind of runs parallel to a zombie game where, you know, zombie apocalypse would happen. I'm not going to play another game here, but I want to just start really quickly and see if this actually works with the hats, because we did unlock 1 hat, and it's strange that would work. And see, this is, oh, so yeah, you can right click and you can put on hats. Wish the game had told me that. Wish the game had told me anything. Let's see if I just click on this non-stop. Like, is that enough to get the rare sound effect to play? I also kind of don't like that there's no like pop down X button here, or to pull up a menu or anything. See, this would be a good run to run, but any of the easy runs are pretty good to run. The problem here is I'm never coming back to this game. I really am not. Like, I could have if it was good, but it isn't. So while this might have been a little fun time waster, if it was fun, it isn't. So I feel like I've wasted my money, and it's been a long time where I feel like I've wasted my money buying a game on Steam, because Steam gives you a lot of opportunities to specifically avoid doing that Steam has its Steam sales. So let's see how many people we've got here. You have like one person per department, which gives you about 10, 15, maybe 20 people working on this game. And then a bunch of testers and a lot of special thanks. I wonder if this was a Kickstarter game too. Because that would be even worse if somebody kickstarted and prepaid for this game and it's still really high. But it might be that that's exactly what happened, so that everybody who kickstarted it got it relatively cheap, and then they kept the price high after that point because they'd already made all their money there. A lot of translations happening here, and a lot of DLC that very possibly was made by slightly different teams, and sound effects are just coming from a free sound website, like open source sound effects, and it's developed in Unity. And the copyright's not even updated for 2019. Interesting. Yeah, that is far too big of a team to have worked on this and not polished it more and made it a better game. Unfortunately, when you have a game with very little content, which I would say this really does, and there's nothing really interesting to say about it, which this really doesn't have anything to say, I've just ended up repeating myself over and over again. So that's going to be it for this series. I see no more reason to stretch this out and go any further. I'm done with it. Maybe there's always that possibility somebody else would really, really like this game, but I don't think so. I think you're better off playing Fallout Shelter. I think you're better off playing a Fallout game in general. Go play Fallout 1 or 2 and you'd have a probably better experience. You play Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 even, you'd have a better experience. If you don't want to play any of the Fallout games, there's, I'm sure, some other games about survival, and nothing will be so mobile. But if you do just want a choose your own adventure book game, then perhaps you could find that in some of the mini text-based games that are on Steam. Generally, I don't recommend people playing text-based games, but if you just really don't want any visuals or gameplay mechanics, that might be your bet. Or if you're willing to delve into a different style of animation and storytelling, visual novels are available, and that would give you choices. Dating sims are available, and that would give you similar choices with just different outcomes and different goals, instead of survival. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that's quite exactly one for one like this, and there's probably good reason for that. Fallout Shelter is the first game that comes to mind that is somewhat similar to this, and Fallout Shelter has a lot more gameplay mechanics and would probably be more entertaining in the long run. That's going to be it for this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos, because that helps me with YouTube and tells them that my videos are worth watching. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, you can click on the link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.